glad you came.
Well, that's good to see you. I came as soon as I heard.
Well, thank you, Frank.
You bet. Where's Nordberg? He's right here, Frank. Right. Nordberg. Me. Frank, your buddy.
Well, folks, O.J. Simpson finally died today. Not finally like I was hoping he would for a while. I would have been good with him rotting in jail and maybe having a strong flame turned up below him at a very, very high rate. Yes, O.J. Simpson lost his battle with prostate cancer at 76. I don't like to dance on graves generally, but there are some people that are just so freaking awful that I'm not going to pretend that to be sad, and I'm not going to pretend even to not be happy.
Back on the force.
Nordberg, that's wonderful. Whoa!
Oh, Frank, everyone should have a friend like you.
O.J. Simpson, of course, famed running back, sportscaster. He actually was funny in Naked Gun.
Oh, my poor Nordberg. Oh, he was such a good man, Frank. He never wanted to hurt anyone. Who would do such a thing?
Oh, it's hard to tell. Be a roving gang of thugs, a blackmailer, an angry husband, a gay lover.
And then we found out the dark O.J. behind the scenes, the controlling, possessive, domestic assault against his wife, drug use, and eventually murdered his wife and her companion, Dan Goldman. And yes, they were found guilty in a civil court. But what I'm thinking about here is I'm having memories of 1994, and I'm thinking about how O.J. Simpson really was the destruction of our political and our media system. And I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. We're sitting there with my dad in 1994 watching the Knicks game, and suddenly, boom, off to the White Bronco, and Al Cowlings, and O.J.'s in here, and we're watching helicopters follow them, and we did not know at that moment the way our entire landscape of how we cover things that are supposed to be serious was changing.
We don't want to get any innocent commuters hurt here. We got ourselves a very sticky situation. This girl's relying on us to rescue her safely. If I let this guy out of my sights, there's a very good possibility that we will never see her alive again. Obviously, you always want to keep vehicular intercourse down to a minimum at all times. We don't want this guy going spinning out and hitting a busload of nuns.
It became ridiculous. People like Judge Ito and Marcia Clark became famous just for the fact that they were prosecutors. And judges, which presaged reality TV. I mean, hell, one of the lawyers did too, Johnny Cochran. They even came up with the little lines, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. If this doesn't remind you of where our politics is today, right? A clever line in a debate overcomes any real substance.
Cast your vote for Tracy Flick next week. You won't just be voting for me. You'll be voting for yourself. Looks like you could use a cupcake.
And that's what we were seeing. It was all on TV so the people involved could get famous, make money off of book deals and everything else, which is what politics has become to the morons from Marjorie Taylor Greene to Matt Gaetz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm a proud co-sponsor of the PRIME Act. I appreciate this hearing. If for no other reason, then I'm not going to eat the bugs. So I'm here for the Where's the Beef hearing.
It's no longer about serving. It's a way to get famous and join the right-wing gravy train. So it's not ironic that O.J. actually was friendly with Donald Trump. You can find numerous pictures. We'll show you of them together. And even gave him legal advice towards the end of how he should probably shut the f*** up and not talk about his trials.
The one thing they all told me and stressed to me, do not talk about the case publicly. Do not do interviews about the case.
Yes, O.J. Simpson compared to Donald Trump strong emotional intelligence, which is to say it's like a slug having more emotional intelligence than the piece of grass it crawls through. But God, it changed so much else. It gave us figures like Robert Kardashian, who was the father of the Kardashian family. He got a taste of reality TV, and eventually we got stuck with that entire family. They probably saw how much fame he got from it, and now we've all gotten to know all their names and can't get away from them. As I mentioned, obviously, many other players. Remember Kato Kaelin lying on a sofa. You didn't have to have any talent anymore. Gatekeeping was down. You didn't have to have accomplished anything. You were famous because you were there, and that meant put you on TV, reality TV. The stupidest thing that's ever happened to society that I can think of. Maybe there's some others.
I'm the president of the United States. I'm not the president of other countries.
In addition to that, it led us to a period of time where the media learned to just cover the sensational, and learned that actually, in the case of O.J. Simpson, where he was let off by being manipulated by a jury, hell, if you got somebody who, let's say, had committed murder or rape and all sorts of fraud and was a traitor, let's say, you could still manipulate our media into covering them with sympathy. You could still turn it into a media circus and make sure that it didn't matter what the substance was. In the end, the glove didn't fit, you had to acquit. And if that doesn't explain the Donald Trump era to you, I don't know what else does. All right? A guy who became famous from the Verity reality TV garbage that O.J. Simpson helped create.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, folks. I'm Donald Trump.
It's Donald Trump's long-lost Saturday Night Live sketch from 11 years ago.
Trump, you know our wings will make you happy. Trumpy!
Trump dances with SNL cast members dressed as chickens in this commercial for Donald Trump's House of Wings.
And then there are all the grifters who joined our lives. I mean, I mentioned the Kardashians, but this young legal analyst, Greta Van Susteren, who is now on Newsmax after going to, I believe, did she go to MSNBC? She will go anywhere to have her face on TV. In fact, she didn't want her real face on TV. She got so much plastic surgery at one point, she didn't even look like the person she began as. She began as a liberal, became a conservative. Liberal to conservative, massive plastic surgery, willing to go on any station, become anything they need you to be, right? Does this remind you of other broadcasters who've switched? In all of those ways, and probably many more are missing. F you, O.J. Simpson, for being a murderer and really just destroying the sort of political media atmosphere of our society, because you were so important in our becoming this. So no, don't rest in peace. Wherever you are right now, I'm sure that flame is turned up really hot. And I hope it's a bit painful.
There's no way for a man to die.
Yeah, you're right, Ed. A parachute not opening, that's the way to die. Getting caught in the gears of a combine. Having your nuts bit off by a Laplander, that's the way I want to go.